Hi YouTube, it's Janelle here. In this video, I'm gonna be talking about the 4 different ways that I have found to be most helpful to save as much money as I possibly can. So this is gonna help you save more money in 2019 and beyond. I know that personal finance topics and anything related to money can seem really complicated, but it's really not. So that's why I'm here to break it down for you. I post videos every Thursday, so come back to the channel to check out more about all different things related to saving, budgeting, credit cards, investing, and all that good stuff. Now, let's jump right into the 4 things that I recommend you do to help you save more money. It is very easy for people to have a bank account that's a checking account and another bank account that's a savings account and have them both at the same bank or institution or credit union. Definitely want to consider having a separate bank or a separate credit union, a totally different institution for your checking and your savings. It's in their best interest to get more customers to open both bank accounts, a checking and a savings. So what they do is they'll put all these different perks and all of these different, features that the checking account has. But in order to get those perks and features, you have to have a savings account linked to the checking account at that same bank. So they'll sit you down and talk to you about, oh, but you should get the savings account too. We have a joint package, joint checking and savings, and you can save more and it can do this and that feature. And it's like, that doesn't necessarily help you as a customer, as a person trying to save money. It helps them as a bank. It helps them as an institution or as a credit union because they'll get more accounts opened. But what you actually want to do is probably say, no, I don't want to open a savings account today. I came here just for a checking account, and end up opening your savings account at a totally different bank, institution, or credit union, because what that does is it makes sure that your checking account and your savings account are not linked. They're at 2 totally different banks, which makes it so much harder for you to access the money that you're putting in your savings account and move it to your checking account, because it's going to take a few days to transfer. That's actually a good thing because it means that it's easier for you to save the money. So you start putting money in your savings account, and every chance you get, put more in there. Let it add up, let it build up, and don't feel tempted to touch it, to move it, to transfer it into your checking account in order to access it, because then that means that you're taking away the money that you've put in there to save, and it's gonna make it harder for you to see the results of you building up a good amount of savings. Don't look. It is so easy for you to go on your app on your phone or log in on your website on your computer to see what your total balance is on your savings account at this point. It's so easy, and people do this all the time. They log in just to see how much money they have. But it's better if you don't look, because the more you look, the more tempted you are to actually move the money out or to spend it or to access it and touch it before you were supposed to. So it's really important that you try not to look, because it makes it easier for you to not spend it if you don't look. There's a saying, right? Like, out of sight, out of mind. You're not thinking about it if you don't see it, right? If you don't see the money, if you don't see how much you've built up or what the balance is, you're not gonna really think about that money, and it's just gonna be there growing. And that's the whole point. That's why it's called a savings account, because the point of it is for you to be saving. And so an easy way for you to make sure that you save more is by just putting the money in the savings account and not looking at it. Literally just don't check it. Don't look at it. Maybe set a date, once or twice a year to log in and see how much is your balance. Make sure that the records are right. Make sure that every time that you deposited money that is coming up. And if there's not, a certain amount isn't there, of course, you can take that up with the bank. But you shouldn't be checking it every day, every week, every few weeks, because that's what makes it more likely for you to take the money out or for you to access it, because it's gonna be in your mind like, oh yeah, that money's there in case I need it. I could fall back on it. And you don't wanna get into those habits. Increase your retirement contributions at your job. Now, obviously this one is gonna be dependent on whether you have a job that offers you a 403B or a 401k or some type of retirement account as a benefit with your job, right? But if you do, what happens is a lot of people just do the default contribution, right? They just do whatever's recommended, 4%, 3%, 5%, or something like that. And they don't necessarily go back to it and change it every now and then. And it is really, really important that every now and then you go back to that paperwork with the Human Resources Department or wherever it is that you filed those papers and increase it, because it's so easy to do this. All you do is just change it by 1%, like just increase it 1%. You won't even feel the money coming out of your paycheck. You won't really feel it over the long term. But over the long term, it will make a big difference. So let's say, for example, you set the goal to save enough money to put a down payment on a house. One of the big reasons why it could help you to increase your contribution to your retirement account is because a lot of people don't know that you can actually use money that you've been putting in your retirement account to help you put a down payment on your first house. So it's kind of like another way to help you save more for that same goal. So yes, of course, you can have your savings account and you can be putting money in there for, to build up for the down payment, but you should also go to your 401k or 403b paperwork and just increase it by 1%. This comes out before taxes. So when your paycheck comes, you won't even see it, you won't even feel it, and you're saving more money and investing more money in the long term without having any, impact on your everyday finances. So this is definitely the first thing that I would recommend you do if you haven't increased your contributions or if you haven't even set up your retirement account. First, start with the retirement account, set that up and put as much as you can, and then every few months go back in and increase that by 1%. All right, this is the last one and probably the most popular piece of advice when it comes to personal finance and looking up advice about saving money. And number 4 is automate your savings. Setting up an automatic transfer from your checking account as soon as your direct deposit hits, transferring that money into your savings account at a different bank or credit union or institution, hopefully. And that way you're automatically doing it. If you have to be responsible to go in and transfer the money, first of all, it's going to be more top of mind because it's something that you just typed in the amount of money and transferred it and clicked it yourself. So you're always going to be thinking about how much money you're moving out, which could be good for some people, but for most people, psychologically, it's not good because it's going to be something that you're thinking about all the time. That, oh, that money, I just moved it. Oh, I know I have that money there. You don't want to be thinking about the money that you have there. So if you automate it, it means that you set up an automatic transfer to happen every single month or every 2 weeks whenever you get your paycheck, and it's going to be a recurring transfer. That means it's just going to happen by itself, whether you look, whether you log in or not. It's going to happen. Even if you're sleeping, the automatic transfer is going to set itself up and transfer the money out automatically. And that means that every single month or every 2 weeks when you get your paycheck, money is going to be moving from your checking account out of your checking account into your savings account. And so little by little, you're going to see, that the money is going to be increasing. The amount of money you have in your savings account is going to be increasing little by little. And if you combine this one with not looking and putting it at a different bank account, then all of these together can be really, really powerful. And in just a few months, you can notice a huge spike in how much you're able to save and how much you have in your savings account. So those are the 4 things that I recommend. I have personally done every single one of these things for myself in the past few years at some point, and I noticed that every single one of them really actually works. I'm not just saying them because I've seen them online or read them in personal finance books. I have done these things and they've really helped me to save more money. And so if you put even one of these things in place, but I definitely recommend combining them and doing more than one together at the same time, you will notice a dramatic increase in savings. But a lot of it comes to you and your self-control and your ability to not look, not touch the money, not transfer it out, and to really stick to your budget that you've set. If you guys have questions or comments, please put them down below in the comment section. I would love to see what you guys think. Actually, I would really love to hear from people who've had trouble and keep on tapping into their savings account too early. And if you've done that before, and if you've managed to stop, how did you stop tapping into your savings account? Because this is something that a lot of people struggle with. They set up the account to save, but then they can't really stick to it. So any tips and tricks that you guys have that I didn't mention in the video, please put them below in the comment section because I know other people would love to learn from those as well. I post videos every single week, so come back on Thursdays to check for a new post on my channel. And I definitely answer questions that you guys have. If you want to message me directly, you can email me at MissBeHelpful@gmail.com. And that's all I have for you guys. Till next time, peace.